Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to talk about something that's quite taboo, something you should never talk about and never even think about. In fact, in some parts of the world and on some social media sites, it is actually a thought crime to even consider what we're going to talk about today. And I want to really throw this back to the people who disagree with me. If you do completely disagree with me, what I want you to do is come back at me with an argument in the comment section for why I am wrong. If you can do that, if you can change my mind, I would be absolutely shocked, but I am open to it. I think we should be all open to having our opinions changed if something appears in front of us that makes more sense. To start this video off, let's run a quick hypothetical, okay? Do you think that a man who is a criminal, perhaps a violent criminal, should be anywhere near women? Particularly when women are in a vulnerable situation, like alone in the room with a woman or somewhere where they can't receive help from the outside. Do you think that a violent male criminal, someone who has proven to society that they are not to be trusted, do you think they should be around those women? I think most people, most logical people, most normal human beings would say absolutely not. Well, let me follow up that hypothetical with this question. Does that change if that violent male offender decides that they are no longer a man? Are they not still the same person? Do they not still think exactly the same? Are their morals different? And that is the question in today's video. Because the headline that I have here may shock you. It shocked me. It absolutely blew me away. Transgender, child, an M word there that rhymes with Celesta. We had to blur it for YouTube. Repeatedly sexually assaulted female cellmate after being transferred to women's prison. In what world is it appropriate to have someone who would attack a child in a violent nature and a S-word nature? I also can't say that on YouTube. In what world is that appropriate or safe for females? Not just female prisoners, but females in general, even female prison officers. This person, whoever they fucking happen to be, should be locked up in the worst circumstances possible. They should be put in there with a giant fucking dude that could beat the fuck out of them. These people don't deserve to be listened to. I don't give a fuck if they think that they're a different gender. Why would you listen to them and put them in a place where women are held and then put those women in harm's way? Now, I know those women are fucking criminals, right? Sure. But why are they in jail? Are they all murderers? No. Some of these people might be in there because they haven't paid their taxes or they fucking, who knows? There could be 1,000 different reasons. Non-violent reasons. Should they be subjected to potential extreme danger just because someone said, oh no, I don't fit in here? Fuck that. Former cellmate at Washington State's women's prison was repeatedly SA'd by her transgender cellmate who was transferred to the prison after changing her gender identity, according to a shocking new lawsuit. Mozzie Clark sued the State Department of Corrections in federal court last week for locking her in a cell with a 6'4" convicted child, Celesta, who allegedly subjected her to months of stalking, threats, and violence and sexual H&A, according to the lawsuit. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, let me just quickly interrupt myself by saying this. Donald Trump did sign in a gender ideology order where he made the decision to move transgender women who were born male back into male prisons, and this is going ahead in America at the moment. Even though some courts have ruled against this, it is happening there. So why are we still talking about it? Well, in New South Wales, where I live in Australia and all over my country, this still happens. A person who self-identifies as trans has the right to be housed in a New South Wales Correctional Centre appropriate to their gender of identification. So it's still happening in my state and all over Australia, and it's happening in Northern Ireland and throughout the UK. This is happening in a lot of places. So there still are a lot of women who are at potential danger from crazed, violent lunatics who happen to have dicks being put in their cell because they identify as a woman. Ladies and gents, I'm doing news shows around the country right now, all around regional New South Wales and Queensland. Go and get your tickets. Here's all the dates. Go and grab them. Go and get them. IsaacButterfield.com. Now, right here is a photo of Christopher Williams, who identifies as a transgender woman and is the one being accused of sexually assaulting their female cellmate after being transferred to a woman's prison. Now, I will say this from that photo, that person, with the long hair might appear female. So they might be a potential target at a male prison, but also fucking not the problem of female prisoners. That is your issue to deal with. Shave your fucking head. Maybe look a little bit more masculine. Whatever. I don't give a fuck, all right? You're the one that attacked children. Why are we looking after you? Now, this Christopher Scott Williams was convicted of sexually assaulting a young girl. So he's assaulting young women as well. Like that. How is this appropriate? And was serving a separate sentence for domestic abuse. In what world is this appropriate? Williams petitioned to be recognised as female and transferred to a women's prison. Who made that fucking decision? It was claimed that Williams, who slept above Clark in the top bunk, would threaten to R-word her, leer at her in the shower, and constantly ask for sex. Once with a homemade dildo, New York Post. Pardon me. That's, you've just fucking gone out on a fucking crazy limb there, mate. You're not respecting this wonderful molester's fucking pronouns. How dare you? He had brought into the cell according to the lawsuit. In their cell, Miss Clark was on the bottom bunk. Mr. Williams, okay, would hover, like I agree with what you're doing. It's just strange coming from the New York Post, who would hover menacingly over Miss Clark's bunk with an erection whilst touching himself. Why are we misgendering this person? That's what I want to know. I'll fix it actually. Who would hover menacingly over Miss Clark's bunk with an erection whilst touching herself. With her erection. You bigot. He would also display his erection to Miss Clark against her will and gesture towards it. And I'm not against that. That's actually what I do at all my comedy shows. So buy some tickets. One night, Miss Clark woke up and saw inmate Williams sitting on the floor next to her bed with his arm under her blanket, rubbing her genitals. So he, R-worded her. Clark said the guards did little to protect her when she complained. Oh, that's good. Eventually, Williams was moved to a separate cell, but the inmate would seek her out, stare at her in the showers, and follow her into the bathroom, making perverted comments from the next stall. Nice shit, babe. That's fucked. She also threatened her with violence and intimidated her and embarrassed her and all these horrible things. And this wasn't the first time that Williams did this. In August, another inmate alleged lewd imitating behaviour by Williams and other transgender inmates held in the Washington Corrections Center for Women. For women. According to the Daily Wire, this prison housed at least 11 trans inmates. And on top of all of this shit, this happens all over the world, but this is from Sal Grover. And if you don't follow her, she has gone through a massive legal case after denying someone who identified as a female to go on a female-only app. And it's a long story, but you should look into it. It's very, very interesting. And Sal really does fight for women's rights. She's a true feminist. So shout out to Sal Grover. But this is what she put up as well. Almost 2/3 of transgender women in prison are serving sentences for sex offences, figures show. We live in a world where women's safety is at the forefront of everyone's mind. And we talk about it constantly on the news and throughout the media. Everyone's always very focused on their safety, on female safety. We're all about driving down the numbers of abuse and driving down the numbers of murders and all this, as we should. But when it comes to this, everyone who makes decisions is eerily quiet. And that should concern all of us. So if you've got an argument against that, let me know in the comment section down below. Or perhaps you agree with me. Let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Toodaloo au revoir. Bye-bye.